Good morning. Time for a new update prompted by Levi's question yesterday. A couple of questions he asked and very um, appropriate. Just I haven't posted a video in, I guess, a little while. So let's give the update. So one of the first questions was, how's walking in the world going? And sadly, it's not going. There have been a couple obstacles, hurdles, challenges, whatever you want to call them, in getting to that place. So I think in a recent video, I talked about how while I was at the prosthetic place in Orlando, I pushed myself. I pushed myself hard to get as much progress in as I could while I was there. And in doing that, I ended up injuring myself. So that took about 5 or 6 days for my back and my body to recover because there were just muscles that had not been used in 26 years and I was being overzealous. So what I did was after that 5 or 6 days of letting my back heal and getting some chiropractic work done and some massage work done because it was really locked up, I couldn't really move at certain points. I said, let me approach it with a more guarded approach, I guess. So what I had started doing was I started walking daily with using the crutches, but only putting about 50% weight on the crutches and putting about 50% weight on the leg. And that was going well. I was wearing the leg daily. I was keeping it on for some days for 12 or 13 hours. And what ended up happening was, without even really knowing or recognizing why, there were two lumps that were forming in the groin where the leg sits. Now, again, since it's been many years since I've had a leg, my thought process was just, okay, that's just kind of a calloused area getting started because of the pressure of where that leg sits at. But I had talked to the prosthetic company beforehand and asked, am I going to be going through that process? And they had assured me that the way that the new leg is held on, you don't have that same problem, but it was there. Well, last Monday, after having the leg on for 12 hours, most of that day really just sitting at a desk working with one of my business partners on a presentation that we were doing, when I took the leg off, there was actually an open wound. So I basically filmed a short video of myself identifying what was going on, short video of the wound. I sent it off to the owner of the prosthetic company at 1 o'clock in the morning saying, hey, what do I do with this? And he called me at 7 o'clock the next morning and said, you know, it looks like it's an infection. And he didn't know the history of what infections have meant in my life for the past 18 months. So that was last Tuesday. I immediately scheduled an appointment with a doctor. Luckily, I was in New Jersey doing this work with my business partner, was able to get in and see the doctor that day. They squoze me in. And I spent pretty much the day at the doctor's office where they were doing cultures, drawing blood, looking at different things, and attempting to get my reports from the hospital in Florida so they could compare notes. As of today, I have now, again, not worn the leg for a little over a week because it's still an open wound in my groin. And with all of the challenges that I've had in the past with infections, I need that wound to close and heal. So the next steps with the leg will be conversation with the prosthetic company after it heals to prevent that wound from happening again. I mean, it's still my full intention to figure out the solution and get to the place of where I'm wearing it and using it without crutches. Just another obstacle, another hurdle in the line of getting there. So it's been a bit of, you know, the one step forward, 2 steps back part of things. But I'm still laser committed and laser focused on making it happen. I actually am, as you can, well, I guess you can't determine, I'm in a hotel right now getting ready for an event that we're doing in New Jersey this weekend. And I've still got the prosthetic actually in the car with me rather than back in the RV, because if the wound closes enough, I'm planning on putting it on for some of the event this weekend. So that's the first answer to the question. The other question that Levi had asked was regarding the diet and the other things that another doctor has spoken to me about. So for some of you, again, you may not have known on the latest video that I put out, I met with a naturopath who came up with a theory and then proved, or at least identified what she thought was in the theory, that one of the reasons I had these recurring infections is that infectious disease doctors look for infections. They don't look for bacteria and parasites. Now, all of our bodies carry bacteria in them, but my body has been so bombarded with antibiotics over the past 18 months that it's killed a lot of the good bacteria. And her theory was that there are bad bacteria and parasites that are not identified when they're checking for the infections. But if my immune system gets run down, then these bacteria and parasites turn into infections and attack the body. So she's got me on this protocol of a lot of different supplements that I take. First thing when I get up, before breakfast, during breakfast, before lunch, during lunch, before dinner, at dinner, and at night. So 8 times a day I'm taking these supplements. I have a couple of other protocols of devices that she's using. Don't know what the results are yet. I've also had to adjust the diet of not eating grains or things with sugar or anything like that, because supposedly the parasites and the bacteria thrive on those. Have been following it pretty closely. Haven't been doing it perfectly. Traveling, sometimes it's that thing of going, okay, well, I got to eat something, and it may not be the best thing that's there. But I have been following the protocol as closely as I can. But it's a 6-week protocol, and then she'll retest for the bacteria, the parasites, and also she had found some heavy metals in my in that test also, and not like, you know, heavy metal poisoning, but enough heavy metals that there was the concern that that was what something was lowering my immune system. So Levi, I'm still in the journey on this, still in the journey of getting used to the leg and overcoming some of the obstacles of getting back into one, having not used one for so long, still in the journey of finding answers. And yeah, I got to tell you, when the owner of the prosthetic company, the first thing that he said was about, that infection was part of that wound that was in my groin. Wasn't a happy moment for me. Was not in the best state for a little while, because, it's that whole thing. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do to improve and heal. And then now the thing that I'm focusing on that is going to be one of the biggest catalysts to moving me forward is actually involved in also causing the challenge. But I only lasted in that state for a little while. Again, went to the doctor, followed the steps I needed to follow, and, back in that focus mode. So I appreciate everybody checking in. Sorry that it's not the progress report of, hey, I'm doing this, that, the other. It's part of that process of going, even when we set our goals for ourselves, we're going to run into some obstacles along the way. So I love you all. I thank you. And before this gets too long, let me stop it, upload it, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Thank you.